Welcome back to Sonic Tribes. Ernest, Tribal Elder, and back to talk about the NFL. September 22nd, 2024, coming up, day after tomorrow. And honestly, I'm going to start off with the teams that I'm not really going to talk about because I don't have a real strong opinion on them. And so I just want to wait and see, because there's a lot of questions that you don't want to bet on question marks. The KC in Atlanta. Atlanta looks like they're for real, but well, now KC will test them out to see, and we don't know how that's going to play out. Giants in Cleveland. There's no sense in putting money on two teams that haven't even looked like they anyway. Philly and New Orleans, same thing, same as the KC Atlanta game. New Orleans looks like the real deal, but Philly's going to test them out. I'm not going to go there. I just want to watch. And Green Bay and Tennessee, same as the Giants in Cleveland. I'm not interested right now. Wait till they develop and then I'll check them out. But anyway, besides that, honestly, I don't see anything here that I really can commit to hard. One game and one game only. But the other games, starting out with like Detroit at Arizona. Arizona has a quarterback that he runs the ball almost as much as he passes, but he can pass at a high level. And Detroit has a quarterback that doesn't run. So Detroit has a better actual rushing attack, and they should get their yards and their opportunities, and they're going to score. I think Arizona will score, and even if they're behind, they're not going to stop. They'll get that late garbage touchdown. This one here, I mean, if you want to look at the over on it, I would tease it. And honestly, that's the only real thing that I would just consider on that one. And it's not even that a strong lean on that one. Another one is that the Chicago and Indy game. You have two quarterbacks that haven't established themselves. They haven't proven themselves. And they're, as far as, I think Chicago might be able to run the ball somewhat, but still, they're not, they ran, last week they scored 24 points. 14 of them were defensive touchdowns, which means that their offense only scored 10 points. They're not going to score much. But against Indy, they might ceiling of 20. Indy, the same thing. And these quarterbacks, they're the same type of quarterbacks. They're going to run the ball a lot and then make mistakes. You know, unless you're a fan, I wouldn't even bother with this game. As far as Seattle, at home against Miami, you know, this game here, I had Seattle. Yeah, I'm solid on that because I've seen him close out games. But Miami is, they will be able to move the ball somewhat, even with, I think, on the ground, which would make it closer than I would be comfortable with. But then I heard injury situation with Seattle that you might want to consider. You know, that might throw you off a bit. But on that one, I would just a slight lean on Seattle money line. I mean, they're going to win the game. I don't see a quarterback like Thompson coming in and winning the game for Miami. So that's, to me, a slight lean on the money line. Carolina in Vegas. Now that one, I had Vegas as a lock. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people did. But the thing that I'm going to not play this one because we got a wild card coming in with Dalton. You know, Dalton, the Roadhouse, Dalton. It's a joke. It's a boomer joke. Okay, sorry. And what's he going to do? You know, is he going to come in and get hurt in the second quarter? Or is he going to come in and light it up? You know, I mean, we've seen it happen already. You know, Darnold, Mayfield last week. So I wouldn't play this one. I'm not going to play it. I mean, I want to see what happens. Right? So that just leaves me to the one play that I'm going to do as a solid would be I'm going to take the Ravens and lay a point. The Ravens are the last two games, the last play of the game type situation. They're frustrated. Their quarterback is mistake prone but spectacular and everything in between, and which is not consistent. So, you know, but he does things, and in this case, I think his motivation is just going to do whatever. And as far as Prescott, you know, he looks like he's defeated. I don't think it's really him. I think he really knows that he doesn't have the offense that he's comfortable with. I mean, Prescott is the kind of quarterback that he's in command of the field when he knows the pressure is not coming at him because they can run the ball. They're looking for the run. They're not coming after him. He's been used to that, and that's why he's been successful in the regular season. But when he gets to the big time, the pressure, I don't know. I mean, we've seen that. So in this case now, though, the difference is that the Baltimore defense is not down. The Dallas defense is down. Dallas defense, I don't think is going to fix it this week. I'm just going to go Baltimore. That's straight out there. So that would be what I'm going to do this week. But I also I did some college the other day, and I wanted to add on that I'm not too sure about a lot of things. You learn a lot of things when you make your picks, and a day or two later you find out something different that might affect what you decided before. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just combine this. I mean, to me, this would be a pretty decent side parlay. No teaser needed in this one here. I would consider Tennessee laying 7.5. I would consider TCU minus 2.5. They're at SMU. And, you know, I think Tampa Bay might get it done, laying 6. And with Baltimore. So right there, you've got a four-leg parlay, side bets. And that's, 11-1 odds. But yeah, that's what I think, that's what, not what I would consider, what you would consider. Me, those are the ones that I'm going to go with. But anyway, so that's what I have for this week. I have other observations as far as if you want to get some of these games that I didn't talk about. With the Chargers at Pittsburgh, to me, it boils to both of these are running teams. And it boils down to me, the quarterback play in this one. If Herbert is diminished, Pittsburgh has proven to be a solid team. Not a really high level, but, you know, they beat who they're supposed to beat. And really, it boils down to that. If Herbert is somewhat what his potential would be, he could be the deciding factor in that game. And anyway, now I got Buffalo at home, laying 5.5 against Jacksonville. You know, to me, this was one of my solids. Buffalo's, they win by a touchdown minimum. But when you look into what they've done this year, they haven't really scored a lot of points. You know, what's going on here? And that it looks, I think Jacksonville will be able to run about 150 yards on the ground, which means that they're going to control somewhat the clock. It's going to slow down. It's going to lessen the chances to score, the amount of drives in a game. So, but like I said, Buffalo hasn't been like they're going to, you know, you would expect them to put 34 points on Jacksonville at home. And they might, but it hasn't shown what they've done this year so far. So, and like I said, if Jacksonville can get their amount of time on offense, because they're running the ball, they're getting first downs, you know, 2 or 3 first downs in a drive maybe. But then when it comes to the red zone, you know, what's their quarterback going to do? I mean, this guy has been up and down, erratic, spectacular, blundered. I mean, he's one of these, you don't know what he's going to do in this game. So I went from saying Buffalo is going to be a solid to, I don't know. That's the things to consider in this game. Just because you see an obvious favorite, you got to look into it, see what they've done. And the same thing here with Cincinnati and Washington. Okay, now Cincinnati has got this Burrow finger issue. How bad is it? I mean, is it because he's still on the injury list? And when you see your top quarterback on the injury list, it makes you want to say, okay, do I really want to put my money on that? I don't think so. Washington can run the ball. They're going to get their yards on Cincy. They can't really, Cincy can't run the ball either. That's another thing. So Washington's going to get a lot of time on the field on offense, and yet their quarterback is this one is not. He's just kind of unproven and ineffective. Okay, he's not going to get 300 yards. He's not going to get 2 or 3 touchdowns in a game. You know, this guy is just handing the ball off, and if they have to get a third down, he has to try to convert that third down passing. He might hit it half the time, but he's not going to move the ball, move the chains consistently by passing. He relies on the run. So that right there, since he can't run, they won't stop the run from Washington completely. But I still don't see either team. I see like 20 for each team, and the one that scores like 3 or 7 after that's going to win the game. And that's why the total is right at 47. So, you know, on that one, that's what I would consider if I was looking at that game. Anyway, so that's what I've had for this week. And we'll see how we do tomorrow. That's all I got. I mean, for right now, to check out the games tomorrow and see how we do. If you like my caps, just keep listening. If you like, you know, this background stuff, I mean, you know, this is my tunes. Check it out on SoundCloud. Check it out on Reverb Nation. And thanks for listening. Until see you again. You guys take it easy.